Chapter 1 Rebirth as Naruto Uzumaki. After my death from a lightning strike, my soul is drifting in a white space. Then suddenly a voice called me in my head. The unknown entity said, "Hello boy." He asked confused, "Hello, who is there?" The voice responded again, "You can call me God if it works for you." Curiously, he asked, "God, why am I here?" God is amused but replies, "Nonetheless, ha ha ha, because you died boy." I was confused, so I questioned, "Don't tell me, you killed me by a careless mistake." God said, "I sneezed in the wrong direction, and you died." It made the soul confused as he clearly remembered that he died due to lightning. He questioned again, "But I was hit by a bolt of lightning if memory serves." God sounded guilty while replying, "My sneeze produced a little lightning, and you died from it. It directly struck on your head." He asked, "So am I going to heaven, my God?" God replied, "Nope, you died too early, but I am surprised you didn't ask for your rebirth." He replied, "It is too much work. Many people want to reincarnate, but it's not guaranteed to live a king's life or have a considerable harem." God replied in a happy tone, "Yeah, that's true. Many people wish to live that kind of life. Yet, they have to work for it. It's like a talent, and they only have to use it to its full potential." Yet, he has other plans. So he said, "But I don't want it. I would like to go to heaven and sleep on an angel's lap." God said to him, "Boy, I told you. You died an unnatural death, and you are not supposed to die. You were supposed to live for 109 years, but you died at the age of 25. So I can't send you outside the reincarnation cycle." The soul said, "So where am I going after this talk?" God replied, "Accept your old world, any world you desire, and to make up for my mistake, I grant you an ultimate system that has everything from different powers to summons from the anime and 3 wishes of your choice, but don't ask for something like true immortality or godhood." Understood. I said, "Fine by me. I don't want true immortality or godhood anyway. For my rebirth, I want to reincarnate as Naruto in an alternate version of Narutoverse in which Naruto dies before his graduation. Thanks for the system. For my first wish, I would love to have the full guild of Ainz Ooal Gown with its underground tomb except their guild members, and I should have full control over it and its servants." God in a happy tone said, "Granted." He thought, so simple. The soul spoke again, "I should be able to use magic, chakra, ki, and haki or any form of power." God replied, "Granted." He thought, basic stuff. Soul thought for a moment and said, "Last wish, I want all the knowledge of Fuinjutsu and the power and equipment of Momonga." God's voice sounded from all directions, "I can grant you the full knowledge of Fuinjutsu and its advanced version and even all the equipment of Momonga, but I have to seal half of the power of Momonga until you graduate from the academy." I replied, "Fine by me." God said, "Your wish has been granted and you got an ultimate system. Before you go, I want to ask you something. Why do you want to reincarnate as Naruto?" I replied, "I always thought Naruto never got fully justified in his life in anime. The people of Konoha hated him when he was a little boy and started to adore him after he saved them. What if Naruto was a little different? Different from the canon, not revengeful, and especially not an attention-seeking person. Never cared about Sasuke when he left the village and many other things. He has a lot of goodness in his heart in the canon, which is often taken as an advantage by other people. Which I don't like, in the reaction of other people toward Naruto I just can't swallow it." God said, "Good luck my boy. My blessings are with you." I replied, "Thanks, my God." With a white light, he was gone from the white space. Somewhere far in a distant universe, inside a prosperous village, a small boy is waking up in the hospital. Me, why am I in the hospital in the first place? Nurse, oh, you are awake. I am going to inform the doctor and Hokage. He thought in his mind, I am already in Naruto's body, or more accurately, this is my body from now. Oh, what are these memories? Looks like he died after he fell from a tree. After falling from a tree upside down, he has a major injury to his head. But no one took immediate action to help him, that's why he died. After some time, the doctor and Hokage arrived to meet the new Naruto. The third Hokage inquired about his condition. "Naruto my boy, how are you?" Naruto said, "I am not feeling well because of that clone jutsu." "Huh." The third Hokage said, "Clone jutsu? How can that be?" Naruto replied, "I mastered other academy jutsu except clone jutsu. I practiced clone jutsu until I exhausted my whole chakra. Then I felt some dizziness in my head and fell from the tree. You should teach me some other clone jutsu like earth clone, water clone, shadow clone, tree clone, air clone, cloud clone, etc. The third Hokage was amused and said, I will see about that after you get discharged from the hospital. By the way, there is no tree, air, or cloud clone. From where have you heard about shadow clone? I am pretty sure teachers don't teach about it in the Konoha Academy. Naruto replied, I heard it from some Chunin and Jonin when I was eavesdropping on them, ha 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 ha. Pretty cool ha, I can sneak on the Chunin and Junin sometime, ha ha ha. The third Hokage said, okay Naruto, I will see about your clone jutsu after you get discharged from the hospital. Naruto happily said, you promise Gigi. The third Hokage assured him, yeah sure, but let me tell you it is forbidden to teach shadow clones. But he thought in his mind, now he can back off and I can teach him either water clone or earth clone. Naruto, with a smiling face, said, I will learn all the other 3 clone jutsu better than clone jutsu, that's a promise. Naruto direct looks in the eye of the third Hokage. The third Hokage said, if you learn earth and water clone jutsu then I will teach you the shadow clone jutsu. That's fine with you. His thought was thoroughly different in his mind. Oh crap, why I am stuck with shadow clone jutsu. There is no way Naruto can master shadow clones now, but he can master earth and water clones with a little difficulty. Naruto said, yeah, fine. But don't forget about your promise, Gigi. The third Hokage looked at the doctor and questioned, Doctor, when can you discharge Naruto? The doctor replied, he is perfectly fine but for the full assurance we have to keep him for another day. Tomorrow we can discharge him from the Konoha hospital. Hokage said in a normal tone, that's for the best. Rest for a day, Naruto. Tomorrow we can talk about other things. Hokage said goodbye to Naruto and left the hospital. No one can see it but a maelstrom has already arrived in Konoha. 29 comments 0 vote. Chapter 2 Little Naruto. Naruto gets discharged from the hospital. Hokage has arranged a house for Naruto after he was thrown out of the orphanage at the age of 6. After he came back from the hospital, he cleaned his house and threw out the empty or expired cans of ramen. After cleaning and adjusting his house, he left to meet Hokage. The secretary said to Naruto, Lord Third is waiting for you. So no need to ask for permission. Naruto said, thank you, Miss Secretary. You look beautiful, he thought, she is one of the few people who doesn't see me as a container and doesn't fear and hate me for that. At least I can compliment her a little. The secretary happily replied, no problem, Naruto. She thought, it feels good when someone says that I look beautiful. Naruto enters the Hokage office and greets Lord Third. Naruto greets the third Hokage, Yo Gigi. I hope you still remember our deal. Hokage said to him, I remember our deal, little Naruto. Let's talk about it in my private training ground. In his mind, he thought, little Naruto saved me from the considerable paperwork. Thank God, I am so happy for making a deal with him. A god in a certain universe sneezed but this time in the right direction. Naruto replied, I am not little. I am 11 years old. But in his thoughts, crap, I am 11 years old in this world but mentally I am an adult. This sucks, and the worst part of it is that I asked for it. It is very difficult to act like a child. Being a child is not an adult's business. Anyway, let me enjoy my childhood again. Hokage said to him, I know, little Naruto, let's go. Hokage puts a hand on the shoulder of a pouting Naruto which he finds adorable and shunshin away to his private training ground. Hokage in a strict tone said, Naruto, at first, I will demonstrate a series of hand seals for you, and with it, I will perform a jutsu called Earth Clone Jutsu. Don't worry if you don't get it on your first try. Third, Hokage performs a series of hand seals and from the earth, an exact copy of Hiruzen comes to life. It is made from the earth's elements. Naruto tries the exact hand seals and he couldn't make a good earth clone until his 5th attempt. He successfully made 5 clones on his 5th attempt. Hiruzen's jaw dropped by how easily Naruto performed the earth clone jutsu. Hiruzen gave a satisfied nod and said, well done little Naruto. You produced a satisfactory result. But in his mind, he is proud, this proves that he is the son of Minato and Kushina. Total nature freaks like them. Chunin level jutsu in a 5th try, that's why it is very difficult for him to produce a simple clone jutsu. I shouldn't compliment him too much, otherwise, it will stop his growth. Naruto asked, why is it not in the academy? I would have passed with it in no time. He thought, look at the face of the third Hokage, I surprised him too much. But it's safe, considering he knows about my large reserves and nine-tail chakras. I will not show it in the academy. It will gain too much attention. Hokage said in response, little Naruto, if you were able to learn this water clone jutsu, I will teach you shadow clone. He performs the hand seals and from nearby water, a water clone of Hiruzen appears. Naruto tries to mimic the same hand seals. After his 7th attempt, he produces 10 water clones. Hiruzen was surprised, but, unlike before, he is now ready for new surprises. Hokage said in a surprised tone, good, you are an exceptional boy. Naruto said in an excited tone, now I can learn the shadow clone jutsu. Hooray! Naruto thought, that's what I have been waiting for from the beginning. I would rather not wait for the Mizuki and his plans against me to learn shadow clone. It will consume a lot of time. Now I can focus on other things after learning Naruto's trademark jutsu. Hokage sighed but replied in a grandfatherly tone, a promise is a promise. So here is your shadow clone jutsu. Hokage performs a plus hand seal and in the cloud of smoke, a copy of the third Hokage appears. Naruto already knows the hand seal from his previous life, but he needs someone to know that he learned it from someone. He performs the hand seal and in a cloud of smoke, 50 Naruto stands in front of 2 Hokage. Hiruzen eyes wide opened with surprise. Hokage said in a little surprised tone, amazing little Naruto, or should I say an army of little Naruto. All little Naruto pouts together. Quite adorable according to the third Hokage. He just smiles after thinking about the future of Naruto. Hokage asked him, do you want to learn something else? He thought, I just remembered about my pending paperwork. Say yes, Naruto. If he says no, then I will treat him to ramen. It will hit my wallet, but it will keep me away from my lifelong archenemy. Damn paperworks. Naruto thought for a moment, then replied, I like to have a spar with you. I want to improve my fighting style by a large margin. I always lose to Sasuke and it doesn't feel good. Hiruzen was surprised by Naruto's determination to improve himself. So he nodded his head and gave him confirmation. They fought, and Naruto was beaten badly by Hiruzen in every area of taijutsu. He corrected every flaw of his taijutsu and gave him some tips. Then they sparred for another 30 minutes with his improved version, and he was satisfied with it. Hokage asked in a questioning tone, Naruto, who looks after your taijutsu class? There are countless flaws which are supposed to be corrected by your instructor. Naruto said, mostly it is seen by Mizuki-sensei and Iruka-sensei, but mostly Mizuki-sensei is available in the taijutsu class. Iruka-sensei mostly corrects my flaws, but he is not available all the time. A sly expression appears in his mind, and he thinks, now I set up things against Mizuki. Now you will pay for messing with me, Mizuki. Hokage thought about something but said, one more thing, Naruto always uses your head during battle. Don't rush things and go according to the pace or rhythm of the battle. Inside his mind, Hiruzen thought, I have to put a secret investigation on Mizuki. He is not supposed to mess with students' progress. Naruto nodded his head and said, okay Gigi. I will use my head in the battle. He thought, definitely it will benefit me to survive against Orochimaru, Pain, and Madara. Hokage said, little Naruto, you did well today. So I am thinking of giving you the treat of ramen to show my appreciation. He suddenly remembered his considerable appetite and thought, my wallet. Naruto said, yes, let's go. He remembered someone in his mind, I just remembered Daniel Bryan. Hokage and Naruto walked to the Ichiraku ramen. Tsuki and Ayame saw Naruto, and they knew it was their golden hour for their business. Tsuki happily said, Lord Hokage and Naruto are #1 customer, welcome to the Ichiraku ramen. Ayame followed his father and said, welcome Hokage-sama and Naruto-kun. Hokage sighed but said the golden words, hello, whatever Naruto eats is on me today. But he is sobbing internally for his wallet. Naruto greeted both of them, yo Tsuki Gigi and Ayame Nichan. I will start with 3 bowls of miso ramen. He is thinking, ramen. Yeah, that's right, only about ramen. Ayame said with a smile, right on the way. By the time Naruto finished, it was 10 bowls of miso ramen, 4 bowls of pork ramen with vegetables, and another 7 bowls of another ramen. He ate almost 21 bowls of ramen as his one-time meal. Hiruzen pocket money is half by the Naruto's meal alone. Hiruzen says goodbye after the meal. Tsuki and Ayame were so happy that they gave a discount coupon to Naruto. Today is the day. Our little maelstrom of Konoha devoured half of Hokage pocket money, whatever he brought in his purse, I mean. Tomorrow Naruto has to go to Ninja Academy. Maelstrom is coming to the academy with a few bigger surprises. 31 comments 0 vote. Chapter 3 Jane and Naruto. Naruto reaches his home and the installation of the ultimate system has already been finished by that time. The system has been fully installed. Stats. Name equals Naruto Uzumaki current. Bloodline equals Uzumaki bloodline equals 41% dormant. Title equals Reincarnation of Asura. Ainz Ooal Gown guild owner. Child of prophecy. Stats. Level 10 Momonga's level excluded and sealed. Health equals 20. Stamina equals 46. Chakra equals 150 Uzumaki bloodline. 9-tail chakra equals 10,000. Intellect equals 30. Wisdom equals 15. Agility equals 18. Strength equals 17. Chakra control equals 15. Magic equals 50,000, 65% sealed. Naruto said, damn, so much power, but it is sealed. My agility and strength are low. I have to work on that area so I can improve it. I got magic because of Momonga. Now behind me, there are many loyal subordinates. There is no equal to them in this whole world. Let's check my skills. Skills. Momonga's all-known active and passive spells equals 718 spells. Substitution Jutsu, Transformation Jutsu, Sexy Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu, Earth Clone Jutsu, Water Clone Jutsu. Naruto muttered, Momonga's power is making me overpowered. That is why it is sealed more than 60%. The host body is unable to withstand the full powers of Momonga until he becomes 12 years old. Closing parenthesis. Naruto called his system, System, can I give you a name? I feel awkward whenever I call you a system. Host can rename the ultimate system. Naruto said, from today onwards I will call you Jane, if it is okay with you. Can you change your robotic voice to a cute and sexy girl's voice? Affirmative host. Naruto hears a girl's voice. Naruto replied to the system, thanks Jane for your support and care. It is my job, host. Naruto thought about something and said, host, word is irritating my ears, so could you also change that? What would you like to be called? Closing parenthesis. Naruto replied, Naruto or Master. Pick up the best one you like to call me in the future. Master Naruto will sound great. Closing parenthesis. Naruto said, it sounds great and feels important. You can keep calling me that instead of host. Any mission for me? The screen changed from the stats to the mission tab. Mission. Learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu before joining a Genin team. Rewards. Express equals 2000, small sword, 50 explosive tag. Status equals completed. Learn the other clone jutsu. Rewards. Express equals 500, 10 kunai, 10 shuriken. Naruto asked, Jane, do I have an inventory? Yes, Master Naruto. Closing parenthesis. Naruto happily said, that's pretty cool. Hey, do I also have a starter pack? Yes, you have a starter pack. Naruto said, open my starter pack. Ding. 10 sets of new clothes, a multiple summoning animal ticket, a magical musical headset with never-ending your favorite song. 10,000 shop points, full bloodline awakening pill. Naruto happily said, jackpot, now I can wear other than my orange jumpsuit. I will use the multiple summoning ticket later, but for now, I would love to use the bloodline awakening pill. Naruto takes the pill from his inventory and swallows it with the help of water. Naruto feels slow changes in his body which is increasing with every passing second. Pain starts to emerge from his muscles, nerves, brain, and bones. Naruto puts a cloth in his mouth so his screams will not reach outside of his house. After 15 minutes, the painful procedure stopped and he slept like that on his floor. In the morning he opened his eyes at 5 o'clock. He looked at himself in the mirror and saw some red hair in front of his head, and the middle red hair was mixed with golden hair. Bloodline awakened 100%. The system informed Naruto about his accomplishment. Naruto took his early bath and he changed his clothes. He wears the new clothes which is in his inventory. He threw away his old clothes and bought different clothes from his system for a larger variety of clothing in his collection. Suddenly a screen appeared in front of his eyes. Ding! Daily quest. Run around Konoha and complete 1 lap every day for 150 days. Rewards. 20 stat points. Ding! On time for academy till graduation. Rewards. Full control slave seal creation skill. Reputation among classmates and teachers will increase by 20%. Ding! Perform clone jutsu successfully, which is the bane of your life, and graduate in the graduation exam. Rewards. Sword mastery, express equals 350. Naruto purchased a tracksuit like his old one, but it was in black and red. Naruto started running across Konoha. An adult person in a green tracksuit said, "Hello, my new youthful companion." A younger green counterpart of the adult greeted afterward, "Yash." Naruto looked to his sides to see Might Guy and Rock Lee. Naruto greeted both of them, "Hello there. Are you the green beast of Konoha?" But he thought about something immediately. "Oh fuck, I am going to meet them every day. I don't want to hear about youth every day." Might Guy replied, "You are a pretty knowledgeable kid. I can see your youth is blooming in the right direction." Lee asked a question, "Are you an academy student?" Naruto replied, "I am an academy student, this is supposed to be my last year. So I am giving everything in my training to prepare for the future." Guy looks impressed and says, "Lee, we should learn from your junior classmate. Let's do 500 laps around the village. Let's go." Lee, "Yash Guy-sensei." They sprinted like crazy horses and became invisible from his sight. Naruto looked at their departure and said to himself, "I felt like a side character just now." Naruto finished his lap, took a bath, and prepared his breakfast. After eating his breakfast, he moved in the direction of Konoha Academy. Naruto reached the Konoha Academy pretty early and he sat on the last bench of his class. Shikamaru was also pretty early for his class after being chased out by his mother from his house. Shikamaru saw Naruto but didn't recognize him due to his recent changes, so he asked, "Are you new in this class?" "You are quite early for a new guy." Naruto replied, "Yeah, I am pretty early for everything. What about you?" Shikamaru lazily replied, "I was chased out by my mother for not waking up on time." Naruto decided to humor Shikamaru, so he said, "You look like a Nara with that pineapple spike on your head." Shikamaru replied, "Because I am a Nara, and it is troublesome to explain." Naruto asked, "Can you explain something else?" Shikamaru replied, "Ask, anyway I will explain it if it is not troublesome." Naruto asked a question. A person with a large reserve is trying to do a low-level jutsu with below-average chakra control. How is he supposed to do it to make some progress in that jutsu? Shikamaru answered, "Well, if I were in his place I would have tried the jutsu when almost very little chakra is left in me. Or I would put chakra suppression seals if I had large reserves. Or maybe I would have tried a one-handed seal with little chakra as much as possible. The best one I would find is chakra control exercises for large reserves so as not to be in the same situation again." Naruto said, "Thanks Shikamaru." Shikamaru looked at Naruto and said, "I didn't tell you my name, how come you know my name?" Naruto slyly said, "Well, that's a secret." He thought, "I will prank the whole class today, hahaha. Shikamaru couldn't recognize him because of his new clothes and new hair color. 22 comments 0 vote. Chapter 4 Sexy Harem Jutsu in Reverse. After a small talk with Naruto, Shikamaru became busy in his dream world. Slowly class is occupied by students and everyone is wondering who is this new boy with a hybrid color of golden and red. It is overpowering his look that they fail to notice his small whisker marks which look like they can fade from his face anytime. Now he almost looks similar to Chibi Minato. Ino and Sakura are shouting at each other to sit near Sasuke. After some time they are settled down by Iruka. Even he was surprised by the appearance of not-so-old student with his new looks. Ino asked Shikamaru about this new guy in their class and his info. Shikamaru muttered something about a troublesome woman in blonde color and went back to rest. Iruka started his class with attendance. Iruka called, "Ino." Ino answered, "Present." Iruka called, "Kiba." Kiba answered, "Present Iruka-sensei." Iruka called, "Shino." Shino replied, "Buzznet." Iruka said, "I will take that as a present." Hinata. Hinata answered, "Page. Pres. Aunt ir.ru.keika. Senator. Say." Baruka called, okay, Sakura. Sakura answered, present sensei. Bushi is thinking, Sasuke-kun. Baruka took some random names after that. Baruka called, Sasuke. Many girls start to stare in Sasuke's direction, especially Ino and Sakura. Sasuke said, HNNN. Baruka asked, Naruto. Before Naruto could answer his attendance, Kiba answered in his place. Kiba said, Sensei, maybe he is still in the hospital after he fell from that tree. Sakura interrupted, and he wants to compete with Sasuke-kun. Ino in an agitated voice said, Sakura, don't scream, you big forehead, others have ears, you know. Sakura angrily said, oh shut up, Ino pig. Naruto answered, present Iruka-sensei. Baruka looked at Naruto and said, it is not your turn, it is Naruto's turn. Naruto stood up from his bench and started to walk towards the door. His move surprised everyone, but Iruka stopped him in his tracks. Baruka said to Naruto, class is not over, my boy. Naruto said, for me, it is already over. I am already marked absent in this class. So I am going to do something else. Baruka looked confused but still said, but we don't even know your name. Naruto replied in a mischievous tone, Naruto Uzumaki is my name, pranking is my game, sexy harem jutsu. Naruto transformed himself into a bunch of sexy girls. Baruka is unconscious with a heavy nosebleeding. Even his male students get nosebleeds after watching the naked bodies of curvy girls in their full glory. And when the cloud of smoke cleared in their class, Naruto was nowhere to be found. All the male students and Iruka are unconscious because of heavy nosebleeding. All that is left is nosebleeding male students and girls who couldn't understand the current situation. They understood only one thing. Most of the boys are perverts in their class, even their Iruka-sensei. They believed the new boy was Naruto because except him nobody could pull off such shameless jutsu in their class. Baruka became conscious after some time with his other male students. Baruka shouted in a loud voice, Naruto. Even from the Hokage Tower, Hiruzen can hear Iruka's voice. Ding! Hidden achievement. Knock out more than half of your class. Status. Completed. Rewards. Express. 1000 a mythical dagger forged from a big piece of meteor which fell on Earth. Naruto replied in a happy tone, my luck is great. Jane, what if someone tries to steal it from me? No, this cannot be stolen because it is produced by the system. Anyone who tries to take it forcefully will be cursed. Only you can give it willingly. Naruto said, that is great news, and what about my guild Ainz Ooal Gown? You can summon individuals from the guild, but to summon the great tomb of Nazarick you need a place where no one can disturb the citizens of Nazarick. Naruto thought in his mind, I cannot summon anyone from the tomb in the middle of this village. Everyone will freak out. Naruto starts to walk towards Ichiraku Ramen while thinking, and then he bumps into a lady. Naruto said, sorry, I was thinking something. The unknown lady said, such a sweet boy. Oh, you are an academy student, what are doing here when your classes are still going on at Konoha Academy? Did your girlfriend dump you? Naruto replied, no, I don't even have a girlfriend in the first place. It's rude to ask about another's girlfriend without telling your name, lady. The lady said, I am Konoha's #1 super sexy kunoichi, Enko Mitarashi, what is your name, shorty? Naruto replied, it's Naruto Uzumaki for you. Believe it. Enko said, you are Konoha's #1 prankster. What did you do today? Naruto answered, small stuff, created another version of sexy jutsu, sexy harem jutsu, and knocked out almost all the male population in my class, even Iruka-sensei. After they marked me absent, ha 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 ha. Enko was shocked by his proclamation of creating such a jutsu and knocking his classmates with it. Enko in disbelief said, I do not believe that. Jutsu is one thing and knocking out your whole classmates is another. Naruto said, would you like to try my other version of sexy harem jutsu? Even you will get knocked out by its power. Enko replied, another version of that perverted technique, dream on. Naruto in a mischievous tone said, it works only on perverted girls, hehehe. You can bet on it. Enko immediately replied, 1000 ryo. Be sure to prepare your money in advance, boy. Quote. Naruto said, same goes for you. Reverse sexy harem jutsu. In place of Naruto now we can see dozens of naked guys in the cloud. Enko couldn't resist the pressure and passed out. Ladies who were passing by also fainted on the spot. Naruto woke up Enko and asked for his reward money. Before meeting Naruto she already spent more than half of her money on dango. She is broke, she saw the chance of easy money in this bet, so she agreed. But now she lost to a kid. Enko said, "You see Naruto-kun, I don't have money right now. But I can pay you tomorrow." Naruto with a raised eyebrow replied, "Oh I see, it is like that. I have a proposition. I will eat an Ichiraku ramen and you pay the bill for my lunch." Enko with a relieved tone said, "Deal." She thought, "I got off easy." Enko said, "I will tell the Tuki and Ayame." Naruto said, "You have to tell them in front of me. Then you are free to go." Both of them walked together to the Ichiraku ramen stand. Enko loudly called, "Hey Ayame-chan and Tuki-san. Whatever Naruto will eat for his lunch is on me. I will pay the bill for him. So you can put it in my tab. I have to go to my department to interrogate a criminal in a few minutes." Ayame in a suspicious tone asked, "Are you sure, you wanna pay for Naruto and especially ramen?" Enko immediately replied, "Yeah sure." Tuki asked for more confirmation, "Are you 100% sure it is in your tab Enko?" Enko with a nodding head said, "Yeah 100% sure." She thought, a small price for saving a lot of money. Naruto thanked her, "Thanks for the patronage." Enko replied, "You are welcome all the time. Bye, all of you." She thought, before he changes his mind let's run for it. Naruto said in a proud tone, "You heard her Tuki Gigi. Put it on her tab." Ayame said, "Why did she run away so quickly? Something is fishy. What do you want to eat for your lunch Naruto-kun?" Quote. Naruto answered, "As usual miso ramen. Let's start with 5 bowls hehehehe." He is thinking, ramen. Ayame nodded her head and said, "Yeah sure." She looked at Naruto and thought in her mind, Naruto is too much happy today. Tuki said in a happy tone, "You always bring a lot of money for me boy ha ha ha. She gonna scream when she hears how much you can eat." He thought, money. Naruto replied, "Yeah sure." Ayame came back with his food and said, "Here is your miso ramen, Naruto-kun." Naruto broke his earlier record of 21 ramen by adding 3 more bowls making it for epic 24 bowls of ramen. Someone is going to scream in the next few chapters. 26 comments 0 vote. Chapter 5 Shadow Demons and New Slave. When Academy students returned to their houses. The incident in Naruto's class spread like wildfire throughout the Konoha. A student who can knock out half of his class and he didn't even spare his sensei from his perverted jutsu. It is not an easy feat in the eyes of the civilians of Konoha. Some Kyuubi haters went to Hiruzen and asked him to ban his usage of this jutsu for the sake of all citizens, otherwise it would harm the reputation of victims. They can be declared perverts in the eyes of other people. Villager 1 complained, "Hokage-sama please ban him from using that jutsu. It is a reputation breaker jutsu. My friends are victims of his jutsu and they are labeled as perverts by female citizens. Their prestige hit the bottom recently." Villager 2 added, "Lord Hokage, please do something." He also produced an advanced version of that jutsu for men and a reverse one for women. "My wife was passing with her friends near him when he hit them with that jutsu. Now I can't look in the eye of my wife." Hokage said, "I will see what I can do about it. At least I can declare it as kinjutsu. But I cannot ban him from using it. He invented that jutsu without any help. At least I can give him a warning and tell him not to use it on the citizens of Konoha. It's enough to satisfy your request." Villager 2 said, "Yes Lord Hokage." After they left the office, Hiruzen called Anbu to bring Naruto to his office. After having a nice meal from Enko's money, Naruto left for his apartment for further planning. Naruto thought, which place is the best for the Tomb of Nazarick? Forest of Death is a good option but becomes crowded during Chunin exams. Maybe I should try the isolated island-like ruins of Whirlpool Country which is destroyed during the destruction of Uzumaki's. The clan of Naruto are now after rebirth as my clan. No one messes with my clan and gets away with it. Pain has his secret base even if I need one like that." Naruto said, summoning shadow demons. 10 shadow demons appear in front of him. As soon as they see him they kneel before him. Shadow demons together in one voice said, "My lord, what we can do for you." Naruto is amazed at their unity and feels the eternal loyalty in their voice. He composes himself, clears his voice, and gives his order. Naruto ordered, 6 of you go and find the land of whirlpools, 2 of you go and find Orochimaru and his hidden bases and the knowledge he has stolen from Uzumaki ruins, and last but not least you 2 go and keep an eye on Danzo and his movement. All of you never reveal yourself and remain in the shadows only. Report me through telepathy, and beware of a plant creature named Zetsu who travels underground. Understood, now go on your mission. Shadow Demon 7 said, sorry my lord, but where we can find Orochimaru and Danzo? Naruto, Danzo is hidden in this village. Mostly he operates an underground organization named Root. You have to keep an eye on him and his movement as a leader of Root. And for Orochimaru, you have to search in the land of rice, mostly hidden from human sight, but I fully trust you to find it, my loyal subordinates. And you 6 go to a shop or a library where you can find an old world map. The moment you find it, inform me. Now disperse. Shadow Demons again in one voice said, yes my lord. They said it with a lot of respect. Shadow Demons were about to disperse, but one Shadow Demon interrupted everyone. Shadow Demon 4 asked, my lord, someone is hearing our conversation. Naruto immediately orders them, catch the intruder. The intruder tries to run, but he or she is caught by Shadow Demons. Naruto asked a question, who are you? Why are you here? The intruder said, what are these creatures doing with you, Naruto? Naruto interrupted her and asked again, I asked you a question first. Don't you think it is rude to answer it with another question? Intruder answered as if she was under a spell, I am an Anbu on the service of Lord Hokage. I came here to tell you that he summoned you to his office, when I came here and saw that you were talking with moving shadows. So I hid myself to hear more about it. Naruto in an excited voice said, interesting, now tell me, can you sense them? Intruder answered in a trance, no, I can't sense them and neither feel any chakra from them. Naruto asked again, what is your real identity? If you answer that, you will walk from here unscathed, and if you choose not to answer it, then you have to die. The intruder responded, my name is Yugao Azuki. She thought in her mind, I am spilling all my secrets as if I have no control over myself. I should have to get out of here somehow. I can't fight them, they are above my level. They caught me within a few seconds. Naruto said, I can leave you unscathed, but you know too much about me. Don't worry, I will not kill you. Yugao asked, then what will you do? I always thought you were a good boy, what happened to you, Naruto? Naruto answers, I am not good or bad. And I will not kill you, as I gave you my word and you will leave within 5 minutes. Yugao asked in a surprised tone, what do you mean by that? Your words don't make any sense. Naruto laughed at that time. Naruto thought, system, buy me a slave seal. Ding, purchased a slave seal. Less than effects. Once put on a male or female, they become eternally loyal to the host. It doesn't work on the host. Greater than. Naruto, awesome. Naruto put his hand in the air and it produced a golden seal tag. Yugao was shocked by what Naruto was doing. Before she can utter a word, Naruto puts the seal on her head. Within seconds it affected her brain and the seal became small particles and became part of her brain. Naruto called the system in his mind, Jane, what happens to a person when we put that slave seal on their head? Is there a chance she can be freed? No chance, Master Naruto. The seal not only makes her obedient towards you eternally. It implants the commands on her DNA itself. Even if someone tries to use hypnosis on her, it will not affect her now. Naruto thought, that's great news. Naruto said, Yugao, what are you now? Yugao answered, your eternal slave master. Your wish is my command. Naruto ordered her, dance for me. Yugao started dancing as soon as he finished his command. Naruto thought, it works. Single quote. Naruto ordered her, you can stop now. She stopped her dancing and like a loyal subordinate, she started looking towards Naruto. Naruto said, what are your strengths in all departments of the ninja aspect? Yugao answered, I am very good in Kenjutsu and Leaf Kenjutsu style, Dance of the Crescent Moon. High Jonin level in Taijutsu, low level Jonin in Ninjutsu, and medium Jonin level in Genjutsu. A pretty decent amount of ninjutsu and genjutsu are in my arsenal, my lord. Naruto said, that's more than good. After we leave my apartment you will act like before and resume your duty as Anbu. Understood. Yugao answers, my lord. Any further commands for the future in advance? Naruto said, try to improve in all departments further. Try to reach its limit and break it. I don't want to make you my slave, but you came at the wrong time and I don't have any choice other than killing you. By the way, you just become a part of Ainz Ooal Gown. Gao said, my lord, it's my good luck to become your slave, I am so happy. I will train harder than before and even surpass legends of ninja history for you. What is Ainz Ooal Gown, master? Naruto said, it is my organization and I am its leader and its main purpose is to serve me in any possible way. He thought, now I feel guilty for making her my slave. I should have tried to alter her memory. When I get stats points I will improve my wisdom. I don't want my loyal subordinates to die, even if they are my slaves. Single quote. Gao said, thank you master for such an opportunity. She thought, my master trusts me. Naruto said, one more thing, don't call me master in front of other people, treat me like before we met today in the presence of others. Gao answered, yes master. Naruto searched for something in the shop of the system and found something. Naruto said, come in front of me Gao, and kneel. Gao does as her master said and knelt on one knee. Naruto comes forward and puts a hand on her head and a large amount of chakra and foreign energy enters her body and becomes a tattoo of three-headed black panthers. The tattoo is on her left breast above the heart. Naruto said, this will give you a small boost in battles. Your stealth will grow and you will become more fierce and can summon single to dozens of panthers, which are loyal to you. You can command them with mind. With this mark, you contact me anywhere through telepathy. There are a few more that you will learn automatically during battles. Gao thanked him, thank you, master. Naruto looks towards shadow demons and signals them to leave for the mission. They disappear like they never existed. Naruto leaves with Gao through Shushin to meet Hokage. Naruto said, yo Gigi, wanna treat me to ramen again? Hokage with a sigh said, maybe sometime later little Naruto. I called you because villagers are complaining about your new jutsu. By the way, nice change of hair and clothes. Naruto said, my hair changed automatically when I felt some weird changes in my body the day before yesterday. And yesterday my hair became red and it mixed with yellow. It looks awesome on me. Hokage said, maybe you are reaching puberty, my boy. Maybe you are growing up a bit. He thought, maybe the Uzumaki bloodline is reacting and showing effects on Naruto. Single quote. Naruto asked Hokage, why the villagers are complaining about my new sexy harem jutsu and the reverse sexy harem jutsu. Hokage said, Naruto, you cannot use it on fellow villagers. Even your classmates and sensei are included in that. It is a very dangerous jutsu. Naruto asked, how is that? They look fine except for the nosebleed, of course. You should have to see the face of Iruka sensei and this self-proclaimed super sexy kunoichi named Anko. They couldn't handle the pressure. It is the first time I have seen a woman get a nosebleed and it was hilarious. Hokage with a surprised face said, oh my god, you make Anko nosebleed, it is a ranked kinjutsu to do something like that. Ranked kinjutsu is appropriate for it. You are not allowed to do it in front of dozens of people. As I am very kind, you are allowed to do it to a few people, those who irritate you, even civilians are no exception. Hokage thought, civilians are always complaining about Naruto. If it is dozens, I have to take action against Naruto, but individuals can't complain against him because of my busy schedule. Naruto said, understood Gigi. By the way, nobody recognized me in my class after the change, but you recognized me instantly. You are so cool for an old man. Hokage said, I am not so old, my boy. I am a man with a young heart. He thought, thank God I saw Naruto with the crystal ball early in the morning. Naruto said, I am short on money Gigi, could you give me some pocket money? If you give me extra money I will reduce my pranking towards the masses and focus on individuals and you will receive fewer complaints about me. Hokage immediately agreed, deal Naruto, and here is some of your pocket money. He thought, sometimes I feel like he reads my mind. Naruto receives his money and says goodbye to Hokage. 19 comments 0 vote. Chapter 6 Naruto vs Civilians, Payback Time. After meeting Hokage, Naruto went to buy some vegetables, meat, bread, a cup of ramen, and milk from his newfound money to reduce his daily expenses. After reaching the market he remembered how the previous Naruto was treated like garbage by some shopkeepers. Naruto in his mind thought only one thing, it's payback time. Naruto entered a vegetable shop and started gathering all the ingredients he needed for his daily meal. When other customers saw him, they reacted differently. Some were angry and some were amazed by his courage to come here after many humiliations. Some Kyuubi haters went to inform the shop owner, as he was also one of them. He left everything and came to humiliate him in front of everyone. The shopkeeper said in an angry voice, "Damn brat. What are doing here? I told you earlier not to come here. Your kind is not welcome here, in my shop. Put back everything and leave." Naruto replied, "What do you mean by my kind? I am human and humans are not welcome here." Unconsciously Naruto's magic started to affect the people around him. The shopkeeper said, "You filth. Get out of here." The shopkeeper has to do it for his shop to keep functioning in this place for more customers. And most customers hate Naruto. Naruto with a magic-filled voice said, "Everyone listens, humans are not welcome here, so everyone please get out of this shop now." Everyone who listened to his voice started leaving because most of them couldn't see Naruto. After all, he is short. No one knew who started it. Naruto thought for a moment, like a great person said, "Most people follow the crowd. And I am the one who can manipulate and command them at ease. Ha 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 ha." The shopkeeper tried to stop everyone but failed and looked at Naruto angrily. He went towards him angrily and grabbed his collar. Naruto with a smirk asked in a low tone, "Do you like it? All my kinds left your shop." The shopkeeper said, "You are a demon. Look what you did to my business." Naruto replied to him, "Oh, you fuckers did even worse to a child, who goes by the name of Naruto Uzumaki." The shopkeeper immediately disagreed with him, "You are no child. You are a demon." Naruto replied, "Even if I am a demon you can do nothing to me. Don't even try to think about harming me. Otherwise, I will free it in your store, you motherfucker. Shut up like the pussy you are who can only throw a small child out of your store." The shopkeeper is shocked and says, "How do you know it? No one is supposed to tell you." He is talking about the secret of Naruto being the host of Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki. Naruto said, "You just told me, and that's the story I will tell to the Hokage. You should know the punishment. Death. But I can think about not telling your name with this story." The shopkeeper immediately denied, "No, you can't tell that to Hokage. I never told you that." Naruto dashed his hope with his reply, "You just told me that by calling me a demon. Even if I am not a demon, which is true, how can I forgive you for what you did to the little me before? What am I supposed to do with you now?" The shopkeeper got the shock of his life. He doesn't know what to do. He already left Naruto's collar during the conversation. He never thought of getting into this kind of situation. Now he knew that his life was in the hands of this boy whom he had humiliated many times before. He felt screwed now. The shopkeeper begged Naruto, "Please spare me. I will do anything. I have a family to run, please." Naruto said in a sarcastic voice, "Still you are a bastard who cannot spare a helpless child and throw him out of your shop. Congrats, you are capable of abusing any child in the whole world, even your child. But I am not a sick bastard like you, so I thought to spare you in some conditions." The shopkeeper saw a hope and said, "I will fulfill any condition, just no one should know about it. Otherwise, I will die." Naruto replied, "You tend to look down on me. So kneel like a faithful servant of mine for your crimes against me." The shopkeeper is confused about the condition, so he says, "What? But you are a child and I cannot kneel in front of a child." Naruto said sarcastically again, "You just remembered that I am a child, wow. You never remembered it before. I simply go to Hokage and tell him everything." The shopkeeper knelt in front of him on both of his legs. The shop was empty so no one saw his condition. The shopkeeper said, "I beg for your forgiveness, Sir Naruto." He said it with great difficulty and his arrogance shattered in front of Naruto. Naruto replied, "That should be sufficient, and one more thing, today I am taking the vegetables, meat, and other products free of charge because of your previous behavior. Whenever I come next time give me some discount." Shopkeeper humbly answered, "Yes sir." Naruto said, "Next time do anything against me and you will die. Utter a word about today and you will die because it will reach the Hokage's ear and you will die. Even an Anbu will kill you on the spot for breaking the Lord Third's law." The shopkeeper immediately nodded his head and said, "I understand sir. I will not do anything against you sir, I swear on my children, please believe me. I will treat you as a normal customer and even give you big discounts." Naruto decided to let the matter go with a strict warning, always remember never to abuse a helpless child. I believe in your word as you swore an oath on your children. Open your mouth about me at your own risk, especially in front of your friends. The shopkeeper immediately agreed and said, yes sir. He thought in his mind, I will never go against this kid, he is dangerous. It's part of my fault too. Now Destiny wants a payback for his abuses. I don't want to utter a word about the incident in this kid. Damn, that customer who tells me to throw him all the time because of Kyuubi. Never I will repeat my mistake against this kid. Just now I felt like I barely survived. Naruto said, I am taking eggs and some more meat. It's okay with you. He decided to add a few more to his shopping list for food. The shopkeeper immediately agreed and said, yes you can take it, sir. Free of cost for you today. Naruto takes vegetables and leaves for his house. The shop filled again after he left and the shopkeeper became very happy. After all, he survived a great disaster of his life, or he believed it because someone wanted him to believe that. Naruto filled his fridge with vegetables and other ingredients. Naruto made a few burgers for his snacks. After he finished his snacks he left for his other payback. He went to a civilian restaurant and looked at it and remembered that they threw him out after making him wait for 2 hours. He went to a space near the street and produced some shadow clones and disguised them as civilians and sent them to the same restaurant. Then Naruto entered the restaurant and waited for the waitress. A beautiful waitress came and immediately recognized him despite his new look because of his morning stunt and rumors about his new look. The waitress looked at him, got disturbed, and went to tell the manager. The manager looked at waitress and asked, what happened, why did you come back without any order? The waitress said, sir, it's that child, whom you told me not to serve at any cost. The manager said, make him wait for a few hours and throw him out like before. Naruto waited for 10 minutes. And then he started his drama. Naruto said after seeing the waitress taking orders from his other shadow clone, waitress, it's rude to keep the customer waiting. The waitress thought, what I am supposed to do now, the manager told me to make him wait for 2 hours. I will tell him something while showing my assets and he will fall for it. He is very young but still a male. The waitress said with a beautiful smile, wait for a few moments, we are currently packed and very busy. I hope you understand. She is talking while showing some of her large exposed assets to Naruto. Naruto replied in a hungry and impatient voice. I am waiting for hours because I am hungry and not to see your breast. I am not a baby whom you can breastfeed, understood lady? If you are trying something else, let me tell you. I am 11 years old and not old enough for that kind of stuff. Then it counts as child abuse. Where is your manager or owner? Send that pedophile here immediately. His voice is loud so it is heard by everyone. The waitress got embarrassed for trying something adult-related thing in front of a child. Clones of Naruto started to talk loudly about the behavior of the waitress in the restaurant. First clone, who transformed into an adult male of Naruto, said, did you see that, honey? What she was trying to do, it can be considered as a child abuse. We should never bring our children to this place. Why manager is not saying anything, he is looking here and ignoring this child for hours. The second clone, the adult female, said, they are so cruel, honey, how can they ignore a child like that? The manager is a pedophile and wants to take advantage of the boy. I am telling my friends about this manager and his nature so they never bring their children. I can never see a child who gets abused because of hunger. Third clone, the middle-aged male, said, hey you manager, are you a cocksucker? If you are, you can call me and I can give you the lollipop, but please stop abusing a child. I cannot see something like this. Don't worry if you are gay, it is nothing to be ashamed of. Be proud of your identity as gay. He directly said to the manager in front of everyone. The manager immediately denied, I am not gay and I am not going to give any food for that damn boy, even if he pays triple the amount of food. Fourth clone is an old man who said, I heard something when he was talking to that waitress about seducing the boy or she will lose her job. Then he can kidnap him afterward. Fifth clone is like another middle-aged male who said, you are using a beautiful lady who is poor to kidnap a child, you are gay and also pedophile. You are interested in young boys. The manager immediately snapped at the old man clone, this old man is lying or deaf. I never said that. The sixth clone, who looked like a monk, said, you should repent for your mistake and provide him free food. He is such an adorable kid. All kids are like God's angels and you not only insulted this kid but you insulted a God's angel. Repent, repent, repent. The manager angrily said to monk clone, I will not repent. If you want to clarify anything you can ask my waitress. He is angry and lost his calm. The second clone, who is a female, said, "Hey girl, are you from a poor family?" This clone is a female, so she starts to make the waitress feel at ease to lay a trap for the manager. Waitress nodded her head and said, "Yeah, I am from a poor family." She is really from a poor family. Naruto has seen her family's living conditions by chance many times. They are poor, but they can feed themselves by working regularly. The first male clone said, "Did he tell you not to take orders from that boy?" Answer truthfully, otherwise I will shut this restaurant down. I am from Daimyo's court. Waitress is now afraid for her livelihood, but she decided to speak truthfully for her job. The waitress immediately replied truthfully, "Yes sir, the manager told me not to take orders from that boy." Third clone said, "Did he look at young boys with a lot of expectation?" His words confused everyone around him. Even waitress is not sure how to answer this question. The waitress thought for some time and then replied, "Maybe sometime. I am not sure about it myself now." She is confused by the talk of Naruto's clone and she is not sure about her own opinion. The manager looks towards her with a red and angry face. He doesn't understand how he got caught in this situation. Naruto already trapped him before he entered the restaurant. Fourth clone, as an old man, said, "Did he want to throw out the boy with an empty stomach?" The waitress immediately replied, "Yes sir, but I didn't know he wanted to do something afterward. I am a poor girl who is just following the order." Confused but wanted to get rid of the situation. She found that the manager is suspicious sometimes. She didn't know how her memory was affected. The second female clone said, "Manager, if you fire her then you will go to jail. Where is your restaurant owner?" At that time a man enters the scene. It's the owner of the restaurant, who doesn't want to get caught in the situation. After some time, when all the blame went to the manager, he entered the scene. The owner said, "What's happening here, manager?" Before the manager can explain anything, Naruto interrupts him. Naruto said, "It's nothing, your manager is a pedophile and he is refusing to serve food to me even if I will pay the triple price, and I am waiting here for hours. I am so hungry now." The second female clone said, "Are you the owner of this restaurant?" Owner immediately replied, "Yes madam, what can I do for you?" First clone said, "If you want to do something, serve that hungry boy. Free of charge, of course. Otherwise, I am gonna report about your restaurant in the daimyo court. Even your Hokage cannot save you after that. I am leaving, but my guard is watching the boy till he finishes his food. And don't fire that girl for following the orders and telling the truth. Let's go, honey, I cannot eat anymore." Slowly, one by one, Naruto clones left till the last one remained. Monk clone said, "You have bad karma and I can feel it from here. That's why I am telling you to repent. I have to leave so as not to get affected by your bad karma. And please repent, manager, even if you are a gay and pedophile. You will be forgiven." The last clone left the scene. After some discussion between the owner and manager, they agreed on something. The waitress came and took the order of Naruto. He eats sushi, fried rice, fried meat, etc. Others at the different tables were amazed by his appetite. Naruto took full advantage of his free meal. After eating, he went to his house. The manager and owner couldn't figure out what hit them. A new rumor started in Konoha after the clone pretended to be from Daimyo's court, defended Naruto and gave him a free meal from a restaurant that is known to throw him out. People thought that Naruto had a connection in Daimyo's court which could defend him. Some people even misunderstood and exaggerated it and changed it to Daimyo's support. Now, according to the people of Konoha, he is supported by the Fire Daimyo. Now no one wants to mess with Naruto after this rumor and incident. 34 comments, 0 vote. Chapter 7, an academic day for Naruto. Early in the morning, Naruto started running his lap around the Konoha. After he finished his one lap, he went to his apartment room and took his bath, then started to prepare breakfast. He made quite a heavy breakfast and lunch for himself. Naruto thought, "I have been eating a lot recently. Maybe it is because I am a child now and I need a lot of proteins and vitamins to grow, and ninjas eat a lot to maintain their chakra. And I have the biggest chakra reserve in this whole village." Naruto packed everything for his lunch and classes. He walks towards the academy and sees a lot of civilians looking towards him, and it doesn't feel like the hateful glare he often received before. Naruto thought, "They are looking towards me like I am a piece of a treasure, which they want to use. I should ask Yugao later, she might know something about it, or maybe it's related to my yesterday stunt in the civilian restaurant." Anyway, I don't care. Many people greeted him today on his way, which feels quite awkward, especially for Naruto's body, which is used to hateful glares. But still, some are hiding their hate, which is noticed by him. Naruto reached the academy early and sat on the last bench. After some time Shikamaru came and sat beside him. Shikamaru commented lazily, "You pulled quite a stunt yesterday, Naruto. At least I got some sleep because of that." Shikamaru did not faint but went to sleep when he saw everyone was knocked out. Naruto said, "I know you never fainted and just pretended to sleep. I hope you enjoyed your peaceful rest at that time." Shikamaru said, "I never got such a peaceful nap during the class, but please don't try it again. I hope you are prepared for Iruka-sensei's lecture." Naruto said, "Have you seen Iruka-sensei nosebleed? It was hilarious. It was by far the largest amount of blood that came out of any individual's nose that I have seen till now. Now he is in the lead and ranked number 1 in my chart as a nosebleeder." Shikamaru said, "Yesterday I could not recognize you because of your new hair color and clothes, but today entire Konoha knows about you and your little stunt at the restaurant and the academy yesterday. You just become more famous than Sasuke." Naruto replied, "I didn't care about such things. I like to follow my path rather than chasing a Uchiha duck." Shikamaru said, "Quite a big word from your mouth, Naruto. Did you grow a second brain after the fall from that tree, and where the hell did you learn that jutsu? Which you often use and what you used yesterday? I heard it is recognized by Hokage as an ranked genjutsu." Naruto said, "I created both the jutsu myself. Believe that. I am awesome to create 2 jutsu on my own." He shamelessly praised himself. Shikamaru doubtfully said, "How come you are unable to do clone jutsu but create another 2 jutsu that can make people knock out within seconds? You are a total mystery, Naruto." Naruto said, "You will see on the next exam. I will make sure to produce more clones than anyone in this class. That's a promise to you. You already gave me some wonderful pieces of advice yesterday." Shikamaru replied, "Yeah, I thought you were a new kid. It's not every day that someone can trick a Nara. So you can say I got caught off guard for the first time." Naruto said, "You even asked me how I know your name. If I remember correctly, you are the one who told me your name in the first place. Hehehe." Shikamaru's eyes almost twitched at the mention of that. Shikamaru lazily said, "It's troublesome. Anyway, I am taking a nap now." He is a little embarrassed and tries to avoid the situation like a true Nara by taking a nap. Shikamaru went for his little nap and Naruto started to make his plans mentally. Yesterday night, Shadow Demons informed him about a world map that shows the location of the land of whirlpools. He already gave them the order to locate the ruins and any intruder in his motherland should be captured. He doesn't want to disappear suddenly to alert the Hokage. After all, he has the largest reserve of chakra. The moment he disappears he will be noticed by the Konoha censors. He will continue his normal routine like a pro. Naruto went into a meditative state while thinking. Soon classes started to fill with the students. Naruto became aware of his surroundings. No one wants to irritate him today after his 2 greatest stunts from yesterday. Iruka-sensei came and started to take attendance. Iruka-sensei said, "Naruto Uzumaki." Naruto said, "Present sensei." Iruka said loudly, "Naruto." Naruto's reply is also loud and clear, "Present Iruka-sensei." Iruka answered, "Naruto, I called your name a second time not to take attendance. But regarding your action yesterday, it's my fault not to recognize you yesterday, but as a student, you should never leave the academy during class hours. Meet me after the class." Naruto replied, "Not gonna happen." Iruka with a twitching eyebrow said, "Why is that, Naruto? You should meet your teacher for your betterment. You already failed the graduation exam 2 times because of your clone jutsu. It's your 3rd attempt and try to take it more seriously. You have to work extra hard for that jutsu. And try to improve your marks on other subjects." Naruto replied in a carefree manner, "Yeah, I know that you already told me that. You should reach the century after telling me it a few more times. I am not waiting after the class." Iruka with a tick mark on his head said, "Naruto, why are you not gonna wait after class? It's for your betterment and your bright future." Naruto said, "I am very busy and don't want to listen to the same thing again and again as a lecture. It's boring and mentally exhausting. If you want to tell me something exhausting, you should do that after you treat me for ramen. I will listen to you as much as you feed me ramen." Naruto thought, Iruka-sensei pocket is on target. He couldn't stop his lecture after starting. After this, he will never give me that boring lecture. Iruka immediately agreed, okay fine. After class come with me to Ichiraku Ramen. Naruto with a smile on his face said, see it's not very hard to convince the little me. Iruka said, you better not run away. Now settle down, let the class begin. At the same time, a voice echoed in the whole Konoha. Unknown currency, damn you ramen monster, you tricked me with that innocent face. Unknown currency. Iruka thought, why Anko is cursing someone so loudly, I will ask her after I give Naruto his treat and lecture. Naruto thought at the same time, she got the bill and the terrifying shock of her life. Never make a bet on ramen with a Uzumaki. Single quote. Classes started normally, Naruto simply listened to all classes without causing trouble. The next classes are physical activities on the academy grounds. Shikamaru yawned and said, too much work, I just wanna sleep. Choji said, I just want to eat something. Naruto replied to Choji, you just ate dozens of chips. Kiba immediately intervened and said, he has always room for more and you are not the one who can talk about eating, you ramen freak. Iruka's voice came from behind, don't just stand there, go to the academy training ground. In the training ground, Iruka and Mizuki are waiting for students for their physical training. Iruka said, start with 10 laps around the ground in a circle. Students started running across the ground. After they finish the laps, some push-ups, pull-ups, and stretching are done to warm up their bodies. Iruka said, target practicing. Collect the shuriken and kunai from Mizuki-sensei. Mizuki distributes the shuriken and kunai and of course, he gives Naruto quite old and rusted ones. Naruto said in a doubtful voice, Mizuki-sensei, is this the right kunai and shuriken for me? He asked in front of Shikamaru, Kiba, and other students, even Iruka noticed it from a distance. The question from Naruto is a deliberate act. Mizuki-sensei replied with a smile, yes Naruto, it's the right one. Naruto thought in his mind, you are trapped bastard, just watch me what I do with it. He wanted to stop my progress, bad move Mizuki. Iruka-sensei can't see the condition of kunai and shuriken from that distance for now at least. Just before the start of kunai and shuriken practice targeting, Naruto went to Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto said, hey Sasuke, are you feeling alright after yesterday's knockout? Sasuke said in a high-pride tone, what you want loser? It was in an unexpected place at an unexpected time. You will never surprise me again with that perverted jutsu. HNN. His posture did not change and he still acts with a high attitude problem. Naruto suddenly whispered and said, do you know what I have with me? Sasuke replied, I don't care. Ino angrily said, stop bothering Sasuke-kun. Sakura also added her words, Sasuke-kun will beat the crap out of you Naruto baka. Naruto looked at them and said, oh it's Ino and Sakura. Kindly shut up, I am not talking with you girls. Naruto comes near Sasuke and whispers in his ear. Naruto said, do you see this rusted shuriken and kunai? They are used by your elder brother one time and he got his lowest score from this. 6/10 in kunai and 5/10 in shuriken. Otherwise, he scored a perfect every time. I thought you wanted to beat him. Mizuki-sensei told me about the history of this kunai and shuriken. Nature thought, I hooked the fish. Sasuke immediately said, hey Naruto, wanna exchange it for this kunai and shuriken? Sasuke thought, I will beat every record of Itachi and then kill him to avenge my clan. Naruto said, just smile and ask, I will give to you my classmate. Naruto thought, let's see his ugly smile. Sasuke smiled and asked again. Ino and Sakura fainted on the spot. Naruto gave him the rusted kunai and shuriken and took his good ones in exchange. Iruka noticed this brief conversation between Sasuke and Naruto. Mizuki still distributing the training equipment among students. So he did not notice this small exchange. Sasuke scored 7/10 in both kunai and shuriken and looked happy for beating the record of Itachi, but Iruka and Mizuki were shocked by his lowest performance. Naruto scored higher than Sasuke and also beat his previous record, 8/10 in both equipment. Mizuki was burned from the inside after looking at his score. Iruka noticed this about Mizuki and reminded himself to report it to Hokage, but he was happy with Naruto's progress. Ding! Hidden achievement. Defeat reincarnation of Indra in the academy for the first time. Less than rewards equals express. 3000, shop points. 5000, high lightning release affinity, lightning wolf jutsu, lightning eagle jutsu. Greater than. Ding. Level up. Level 10 greater than level 11. Every stat increased by 2. Free stats point acquired equals 5. Naruto. Asterisk put free stats points in wisdom and show me the stats. Stats. Level 11 Momonga level excluded and sealed. Health equals 22. Stamina equals 48. Chakra equals 152 Uzumaki bloodline. Nine-tail chakra equals 10000 Yang half, cannot upgrade. Intellect equals 32. Wisdom equals 23. Agility equals 19. Strength equals 19. Chakra control equals 17. Magic equals 50,002, 65% sealed. Stats are already upgraded Master Naruto. Naruto thought in mind to his system, thanks, Jane. Mizuki starts to collect the equipment when Naruto submits his equipment he stops him. Mizuki asked him, where is the equipment I gave you? Naruto said, it is with Sasuke. He requested me with a big smile so I couldn't say no and ended up exchanging. Hey, Sasuke come here. Sasuke came with a smiling face and said, why you are calling me a loser? He is in his imagination and too much happy to beat the Itachi's record which never exists. Mizuki questioned Sasuke, did you exchange the kunai and shuriken with Naruto? Sasuke who was still smiling said, HNNN. Naruto who was also smiling now said, anything else sensei? Mizuki is annoyed in his heart but still says, just submit it and go for sparring. Iruka suddenly arrived and questioned Mizuki, why Naruto's equipment is rusty Mizuki? It affects his performance. Mizuki looked at Iruka and played a friendly attitude and said, I forgot to exchange it for new sets. I will do it today. In his mind, he cursed, damn him and Iruka. Iruka said, please do it today, tomorrow I will check it myself. He thought in his mind, it's not a mistake I am sure now. He did it in his full consciousness. I will inform to Hokage about his suspicious behavior. In the sparring circle, Naruto's name is called with a random name. But when he saw him, he remembered old Naruto's memory. He tricked him into the forest to collect a kunai and it endangered Naruto's life. He ran from foreign Chunin kunoichis only to be saved by Kakashi and Iruka. He also saw that the boy's other two friends were on the sidelines. Naruto thought in his mind, let's bully some bullies, payback time, this guy is going to bleed. The image of Naruto is still the same, losing all the matches against everyone. Never won any match in the academy which is gonna change today. Mizuki is the referee and Iruka in the sidelines taking notes on the fight. Mizuki said, seal of reconciliation. Both of them did the seal. Naruto saw the mockery in the opponent's eyes. Naruto smiled. Mizuki signaled the start of the sparring match. Naruto didn't move an inch which surprised others. A random boy said, not charging, afraid to lose, or are you just afraid of me? Naruto didn't like the comment and he slowly walked toward him. The boy tried to punch him in the face which was quickly dodged and from the side, Naruto brought his fierce knee to the left side of his abdomen. Which surprised the boy. Naruto started punching him continuously. Right punch in the face, left punch on the cheeks, a kick in abdomen, a hook as soon as he bent his head which broke his nose, and blood started to come out from his face. Naruto isn't satisfied. A kick on his left front thigh and then on his right. Again a fierce punch on his stomach. That boy vomits the blood. A fierce hook on his jaw and it dislocated. Now Naruto wanted to finish it in style so he caught his neck, lifted him in the air, and tossed him out of the circle. Naruto went out of the ring and did a seal of reconciliation with the boy who is afraid of him now. Naruto said, let's do it again sometime. Let me go full power next time. I hope you enjoyed it. But he thought something else, he will never fight with me now. That mocking eyes will fear me. It's a lesson he will never forget in his lifetime. Students and teachers couldn't understand what just happened within these few minutes. Mizuki asked, what you just did to him? Naruto smiled and said, I won the match nothing else. You are forgetting to announce my name. Mizuki announced, winner Naruto Uzumaki. He thought, this demon brat has brutally beaten that boy. Iruka checked the injured student and said, Naruto you shouldn't have to go to that length. He is bleeding from his mouth and nose. His nose is broken and his jaw got dislocated. Maybe minor fractures in his ribs. Mizuki I am taking this boy to hospital. Iruka left with the injured boy to get him a quick treatment. Naruto looked towards the other two friends of the injured boy. They got the terror of their life. His eyes said everything to them. They are next. Naruto spent the rest of his classes peacefully. No one said anything to Naruto. That's how he finished his classes. 22 comments 0 vote. Chapter 8 Ruins of Uzushiogakure. After class Naruto meets with Iruka. Iruka said, Naruto, you shouldn't harm your comrades. Naruto replied, after today that boy will understand it too. Let's talk about it during the meal. Hehehe. Iruka said, you have not forgotten about that incident. Naruto did not pay attention to his words and said, I am hungry. They both walked silently to Ichiraku's ramen stand. Tsuki and Ayame looked at Iruka and they knew another guy was tricked by Naruto. Tsuki said with a happy face, my favorite customer is back, I am so happy now. Ayame said to Naruto, your friend came in the morning and she got the shock of her life. Naruto with a happy face asked, did she like my surprise? I hope she is not mad at me. Iruka thought at that time, surprises, friend, shock, mad. Single quote. Iruka immediately decided to correct him, you shouldn't surprise a girl which will shock her to madness. Naruto said to Tsuki, starting with 4 bowls of miso ramen. Iruka-sensei is paying. Iruka replied, I am paying for Naruto today. 1 bowl of pork ramen for me too. Ayame took the order and said, please wait for a moment. Iruka asked his student, do you have a girlfriend Naruto? Naruto replied, no, he is busy with ramen eating. Iruka said, don't be shy, I am your teacher. I can give you a ton of advice. Naruto replied, I don't want a lecture on girls. Another bowl please Ayame-ni-chan. Iruka said, you are a growing boy, it's natural to feel that way for girls. Like the crush you have on Sakura. Don't tell me it's Sakura. Naruto looked confused but still replied, please, I don't want to die from her loud voice. Another bowl please. Iruka thought about something and said, then maybe Hinata. Naruto looked thoughtful and then replied, I never talked with her before but when I grow up I will think about her. Another bowl please. Iruka became more confused but still asked, don't tell me you were looking for an older woman. Naruto immediately replied, I am 11 years old sensei. Another bowl. Ayame teased Naruto with fake tears while saying, is Anko your girlfriend Naruto? You broke your Ni-chan's heart. Naruto clarified to Ayame, she paid for my ramen. That's all. Iruka is heavily confused and thoughtful. So he said, now I understand why she was shouting in the morning. You tricked her. Maybe you both have done something inappropriate to each other. Naruto shook his head and said, it's nothing like that. Another bowl, please. I am 11 years old, for God's sake I am unable to do something like that. This conversation led to another misunderstanding about Naruto. After finishing 16 bowls he felt sufficient. Naruto thanked Iruka, thanks for the food Iruka-sensei. Before it could lead to more misunderstanding, he ran towards his house. People who heard their conversation started a new gossip. Naruto seduced the special Jonin Anko Mitarashi and used her. He dumped her near the ramen stand. Iruka thought, I should talk with Anko too. Naruto is misleading me here and there. And facts are saying other things. Naruto and Anko did something with each other. I have to find it in her response. But first I have to go to Hokage and report everything. Iruka asked about the bill, how much do I have to pay? Tsuki replied with a stern face, 1700 ryo. Iruka looked shocked while saying, I ate only 1 bowl of ramen. Ayame replied, but Naruto ate the other 16 bowls of ramen alone. Iruka thought, oh shit, I didn't pay attention to his bowls. I am going broke this month. After paying for Naruto and his food he walked toward Hokage Tower. Hiruzen is having a nice day. Early in the morning, he heard the rumor of Fire Daimyo backing Naruto, which he knew was false. He became happy after listening to it for a few reasons. Civilians will not act against a boy who is protected by Fire Daimyo. That means no more complaints about Naruto. The secretary informs him that Iruka wants to see him for an urgent report. Iruka enters the office after the permission is given. Iruka said, Lord Third, I am here to inform you about Mizuki sabotaging Naruto's progress. Hokage asked, please explain in detail Iruka-kun. Iruka explained, today I saw that Mizuki handed Naruto rusted kunai and shuriken for practice. Which Naruto somehow exchanged with Sasuke. And today Sasuke got his lowest score in his throwing practice. And Naruto, who practiced with Sasuke's equipment, got his highest score. When Mizuki came to know about the exchange of equipment between them, he started questioning them. When I asked him about this, he said that he forgot to replace that rusted set. But he has been giving him this same equipment for the last 2 years. Hokage said, we cannot accuse him, based on this incident alone. Iruka-sensei said, yes Lord Third. Hokage ordered him, keep an eye on him for me inside the academy. Iruka said, Lord Third, I suspect that there is an illegal relationship between Naruto and Special Jonin Anko Mitarashi. Hokage immediately replied, what? No, that can't be true. As far as I know, Naruto met her yesterday for the first time and they bet for 1000 ryo, which is a win for Naruto. At last, Anko decided to pay for his lunch, which cost her more than 1000 ryo. You would have heard her scream this morning. That was the time she got the bill for Naruto's lunch. Iruka immediately apologized and said, sorry Lord Third, I came to my conclusion and asked too much from Naruto. Please do something to stop this rumor, otherwise Anko will toast Naruto. Hokage said, it's an easy job for me. Rest assured Iruka, it will not spread. Now you are dismissed. Iruka left the office, and mysteriously the rumors stopped like they never spread in the first place. Naruto, without knowing anything about this incident, reached his house. He called Yugao through their mental link. She is waiting for him in his apartment. Naruto said, sorry, you have to wait for me Yugao. Yugao said, Master, it's my pleasure to be remembered by you. What can I do for you? Naruto said, I called you here to know your elemental affinities. Yugao said, I have fire as my primary element, earth as a secondary element, and I thought of developing water as my third element. Naruto nodded and said, I wanted to give you a high lightning elemental affinity as a gift. I have no use for it now with some lightning jutsu. Yugao replied, are you sure my lord? I am your weak servant. Naruto said, don't worry about it. I wanted to make you powerful. I was impressed by your determination yesterday, so here is your chance to serve me more effectively. Naruto puts his hand on her head and lightning course through her body without harming her, and she also gets the knowledge of lightning wolf jutsu and lightning eagle jutsu. Naruto asked her, how do you feel Yugao? Yugao said, I can feel the lightning in my body as a part of me and 2 new powerful jutsu in my head. I feel like I can perform it easily. Naruto questioned her, do you know why I made you more powerful? Yugao answered, so I can serve you more effectively. Naruto said, that's one of the reasons but not the primary. When a loyal subordinate or slave becomes powerful, the more effective their leader will become. The more powerful you are, the more I can affect this world through you. Yugao said, I will give my 200% for you, master. Naruto said, you have to learn every lightning jutsu which is in Konoha, even copy the Chidori from Kakashi. And try to learn about water elements too. Try to learn some fire and earth jutsu as a bonus to increase your arsenal. Inform me about any big news regarding other ninja villages and nations. Yugao said, yes master. Naruto said, you can leave. Yugao left after receiving her order. Naruto extended his arm and summoned someone or something like a shadow. Naruto said to Shadow, go and hide in the shadows of my servant Yugao and protect her from a life-threatening situation. Do not reveal yourself till it's necessary. Now go. Naruto thought, now I shouldn't have to worry about her running into an OP character like Pain and Toby who can kill her easily. Not to mention Jinchuriki like me. Naruto called shadow demons through his telepathy. Shadow demons, how is everything in Uzushiogakure? Did you find any intruder? One shadow demon said, no master, the area is very difficult to enter by any normal humans. Only skilled ninjas can enter this area. But it looked like no one could set foot inside because of the defensive barrier around it. We can only enter here because we are shadows. Naruto asked, I am coming to see that place myself. After all, I am a pure-blooded Uzumaki now, nothing can stop me. Naruto disconnects the telepathy link. Created an overpowered chakra shadow clone to mislead the sensors of Konoha. Naruto said, gate. He enters the gate which is summoned. In front of him is a black portal and he is in front of a land of whirlpools. He takes his step forward and he can feel the barrier, but it allows him to enter. Naruto brings out the staff of Ainz Ooal Gown for the first time. Naruto said, summoning Moonlight Wolf. A big wolf appears in front of Naruto and bows down his head. Naruto sits on his back and then the wolf starts running until he sees the ruins of Uzushiogakure. He steps down and unsummon the Moonlight Wolf. Shadow demons felt the presence of their master and they appeared in front of him. Naruto asked them, "Did you find anything unusual?" The first shadow demon said, "No master, only books and scrolls underground with good barriers. We can bypass it easily." Naruto said, "Show me the way." They bring him to an old ruined library which is burned and half destroyed. Naruto enters and reaches a wall. It opens automatically and he enters underground. It's full of scrolls. He puts everything in his inventory and finds a secret door that leads to another room, but this time he finds scrolls in fewer numbers. He grabs everything and puts them in his inventory. He searched again but couldn't find anything. He calls his shadow demons. Naruto asked them, "Is that all we can find here?" A shadow demon replied, "Yes, my lord." Naruto said, "Can you see anything in this place where you couldn't enter?" Shadow demon said, "No, my lord." Naruto said, "Let's search other places on this island." Naruto leaves that burned library with knowledge that has not been found by other nations. Naruto summons a few more shadow demons who search the whole place and bring everything that is considered valuable or useful. Everything goes to his infinite inventory. Naruto, after reading some history from the Uzumaki books, one thing is clear to him. Other nations looted the Uzushiogakure to attain their knowledge of Fuinjutsu and to destroy them from any future threats. They were able to destroy it and took only simple knowledge of Fuinjutsu. The Uzumaki clan were happy in their world, they never disturbed each other. Yet they got destroyed for their knowledge. Naruto became sad for a few moments and remembered the time of Kushina and how she was doing in Konoha. What if he transmigrated into the body of Naruto recently? It is his body now. Now Kushina is his mother. They destroyed the clan of his mother and made her sad for some pathetic reasons. They would have killed her too if she was not in Konoha at the time of destruction. How would have his mother felt? At that time Naruto's tears started falling from his face. He was sad for his mother. Heck, even Kumo tried to kidnap her once. If not for Minato, his father, they would have made her breeding stock. His father was a clanless child and became Hokage on sheer willpower. But his mother suffered too much because of other nations till she found her love in his father. Only to die in her son's bidet because someone wants the nine-tailed beast. His mother suffered the most. People talk about his father because he saved them, but what about his mother? She sacrificed more than his father. Naruto couldn't stop his tears. He has seen what he was not supposed to see in Naruto's lifetime. Not a single sound came out of his mouth, not even the cries. His tears stopped. He searched everywhere for anything he could find to keep. At last, he came to the Uzukage Tower. It has a burned mark of 2 decades. He found a scroll named Arashi Uzumaki. Dear young Uzumaki, if you are reading this, then we are not able to see the other day. We must have been destroyed by them. If you reading this, I will not tell you to take revenge on the nations that destroyed us, but to try to restore our clan. We don't want our Uzumaki clan to perish under the other nation. I can only hope Uzushiogakure will rise again one day with the Uzumaki clan living under it. Arashi Uzumaki, Uzukage. Naruto folded that letter. It is also covered in dried blood which is quite old. He gently placed it in his inventory.